Yo. Alright, I'm just gonna proceed because I've been putting aside this podcast for a whole week. It wasn't a case of artist block, it was a case of like not feeling good, I don't know, just being so stuck. And so here I am, I've sat down, made my setup, tried to make it look like I'm in a tropical forest, and I'm wearing this beautiful top from Studio Tia. It's very pretty. And you know what, today I've got wet hair, so we can pretend this is like I'm an island girl. I'm on an island, even when you're close. Because it goes appropriately with the topic which I'm going to talk about today, which is how to work in paradise. Now, my experience is very exclusive to a particular country and a location, but I think the concept is quite universal. My experience here is more in the framework of a workaway or a working holiday, some might say. You may not earn a lot in this kind of thing, basically like having a paid vacation. So I guess I'll explain the workaway concept. Even though on this occasion I didn't personally use workaway, although I'll attach it down below. In a nutshell, it's a working holiday, basically. Okay, so my circumstances was that I decided to throw in the towel when I was living in England like 2 years ago and move back to Malaysia. So I was in the UK for about 3 years at that time. So I was like, fuck this shit. How much can I get rejected?
To this day! To this day! To this day!
How many times can I get fired? You need to listen to my path to independence to understand my journey career-wise. It's a roller coaster. And I had some money saved. I had just completed my yoga teacher training in India, which I went away for 1 month. And so I had the certification of where I was an instructor. So I could go around and I could teach because I then had the certification. It was about a 3-month transitional period of when I moved back to Malaysia, before I would then move to Italy for a little interior project plus and explore like a new relationship. You know, as it goes. So for the 3 months that I was in Malaysia, I wanted to keep busy, I wanted to keep doing things. So after renovating my parents' house, which I did in about 2 weeks, I literally redid the whole house, tidied it, cleaned it, painted, did my parents' room, did the living room upstairs, turned it into an Airbnb on a budget, which is cool. IKEA was my best friend. I was like, you know what, I need a holiday because I had a very limited resource and I wasn't, working to get work. I wasn't working remotely at that time or anything. How can I go on holiday without spending much or basically not spend at all? In my yoga training, I remember when I was in India, I saw there were some people who would stay there and work for free board and food. So it's actually a thing. So I saw it happen and I was like, that's a great idea, let me do that. So there's this island close, like about 8 hours away from my house, and we used to go there as kids. Like it's like a white sand, crystal clear water. So I got the bright idea of I would email all the resorts and give them my fresh yoga instructor CV, which I created, and ask if I can be an in-house instructor. Like I'd never done anything like it, and it, I just went along with it. I just went along with that plan and I emailed many places. Like I literally emailed almost every resort there, obviously the ones which I liked. And who came back to me was they were called Perhentian Island Resort, and it was more of like a family resort. It was a super beautiful, really beautiful resort. Never stayed there before because, during the times when I would stay there, I would kind of go bootleg and go in a hostel or like share like a little chalet room with my sister. So this was like really nice. It was like a proper resort. And the girl who got back to me was this girl called Isni, and she was like young and cool, and she was like, yeah, sure, of course, this is what's required of you, this is how much we'll pay you. It was a really minimal amount. It was like 500 ringgits for however, for each, for the whole time that I would stay there. I think, was it a month? I can't remember now. Basically a really minimal amount for free board and for food. Here are some things to note, okay? When you're going into these things, I went in knowing, I was fully intentional of that I wanted to put in work. I'm not a lazy person. I wanted to offer things, I wanted to do, I wanted to explore, I wanted to create and work. So I wanted to do things. I wasn't planning on just like sitting back and being like, yeah, give me the world. You must go in with a good work ethic and a can-do attitude. Like, nothing in life is free. We can be gifted moments and opportunities, but we are not entitled to have everything for nothing. Please note that. Come in with that mentality that you will be working, you will put your best effort, you will utilize your mind. Now, another thing within that is to have awareness. Know your worth. Now, so I had a great experience, okay? And so did a lot of other people who did this concept. So both my brothers encountered working situations where they were worked to the ground. This is unacceptable. The agreement of a workaway or a working holiday is a cultural exchange, an experiential exchange. You are not a slave. You are not a slave. Never give up, for Jesus Christ. Do not ever give up your passport. Just don't do it, ever. Okay? So you're going to go and work. Yes, you're going to work for them, but not for nothing. The exchange is, as I mentioned, the freedom to have the experiences and to be taken care of. One thing to note is ask for things and you will get them. If there are certain things you need, ask for it. By the way, we have a bit of peppermint tea here just for a good time. I don't know what the benefits of peppermint tea are, but if I do figure it out, I'll put it on the screen. Yeah. So I just wanted to say, ask for the things that you need and you will get them. Like, for example, I'm, vegetarian, and so, vegetarian, sometimes pescatarian. And so I said to them, I don't eat meat, this is my only requirement. And so they were like, oh, okay, sure, we'll accommodate you in that. Ignore this frickin' creaky chair. So for example, there are varying levels of awareness. I went into the island as a vegetarian. I wasn't expecting anything but vegetables. Due to the circumstances, and generally Malaysians, eat a lot of meat. They said, okay, cool. Eat at the buffet with the guests. So obviously I was living my best life and eating really good food, an abundance of it, very happy. So then a girl from Quebec came along. She was an incredible woman. She made that experience so beautiful for me. She had a very different experience in terms of what her expectations were in a workaway. So for her, Carol, this experience was absolutely bootleg. Her experience of workaways was very well organized. She was given structure, expectations, and full on boarding, a proper, a full-on room. So it's worth noting the varying experiences. It's I'm just super easygoing, but it's also because I'm not a huge expert at doing workaways. I just kind of went along with it. So I was staying in a little 4-lady dorm and I was cool with it. I'm an island, I'm technically working, it's cool. However, there was another American guy, and also later on the girl told me, she said, if you wanted your own room, you could have asked me, and by that time I was already leaving. So the point is to ask for what you want. Oh yeah, so this American gentleman had his own room. Now, I don't know if I pushed for it or if I would have gotten it sooner or later, but the girl did say to me that if I had asked for it, they would have given it to me. So yeah, it's worth putting in the questions because then you'll get the answers. Now, going into this, think about what you can offer. These kind of situations are super, super open. They're just okay, just rock up, tell us what you can do, how can you work for us, and we'll provide a little space for you. So these places are open for you to offer what you think you can. For example, the island I was at was happy for people to come and teach scuba diving, man the boats, be a yoga instructor, but these are really loose terms. In India, there was a lady who cooked for everyone, a guy who did the admin, accepting guests and made their arrangements. Maybe this island, they also said that they need someone to help organize stuff and do activities for kids. So you could come and say, hey, I'm an event organizer, or I'm this and that. Just propose to them what your skill set is and think about it. Be realistic. For example, if you go on an island and you tell them I can teach English, they're yeah, and what are you gonna do? Give them lessons on a holiday? What you could say is oh, I'll entertain the kids, and we could do games, and we could organize competitions. Like, think about how your experience or what you can bring to the table is applicable for the particular situation which you're interested in. Think of what you can do and ask if they have that availability. Now, this is what I got up to when I was on this island. I got a room, I got my buffet food, I got access to plan out my schedule of what I wanted my yoga classes to look like and how I would promote them. You know, obviously, like, the resort wanted this to be like a gift for their guests. Like, if their guests need entertainment or if their guests need, you know, like yoga classes, like, you're there to be able to provide that for them. I mean, like, on my occasion. I also helped with like making beautiful food arrangements, just presenting these things. I also planned out like the tours that they would come up with. So it was pretty new. So they had discovered this like this kind of beautiful stairs to heaven, and then also they wanted to plan out like a forest tour. So I went on with one of the guides and we planned out the tour of where like tourists would take it. So, you know, there were various things that I did. I taught the staff English. I taught cookery classes to guests. Like, I got the idea from Thailand. You know how like everyone goes in but like, oh my god, the cooking classes were amazing. We made like pad thai and stuff. Anyways, I came up with like teaching like really easy, like, you know, Malaysian style salads with the particular, you know, kind of plants that we have in Malaysia, or like maybe a dessert that we have that's pretty easy, you know. And so in return, I got to go on and join their snorkeling tours, which obviously they charge, you know, for each tour that they take the guests on, they would charge that. But instead, because I was working on the island, I would be taxied around. I could you know, go to different islands. I could go on all the tours. I could just do whatever it is that the resort offered to its guests. I would get it for free. This point that we're at is called Shark Point. It's a very beautiful morning, and yeah, excited. I really did take it easy. I remember like floating in the water with my friend Carol, like the crystal clear water, looking at the beach. And that morning we had like gone on like a little snorkeling tour, and then we were sunbathing and swimming and reading books, and we were like, I can't believe we're like being paid to just like enjoy and like float around and enjoy the sunshine and eat good food at sunset. Like, I remember just like poking around the island and swimming and like doing yoga under the trees. Like, one time, like, there was a rumor there was this like massive turtle called Henry. I never saw him. And then one day when I was just like swimming in the water with my like goggles and just like looking around and stuff, he just appeared. And there he was. Just literally, he was like this big. He was like massive. He was like hundreds of years old. He was like, I think he was like 150. So he'd seen life. And I remember just like staring at him as we swam together for an hour, like going through the coral. And I just thought like, wow, like no one knows I'm experiencing this, and like how I feel just looking at him. Like, I could have reached out and just like touched his head. Like, I could have touched and stroked his head. But, you know, like, please don't touch anything, because turtles have this protective layer on their skin and on their shell. And if you touch them, you may break that barrier and then cause them infection. So like, be aware and conscious. Like, keep your sticky paws to yourself. Like, keep your sticky paws to yourself. Okay? So like, apparently living on an island at that point in my life was a little bit, you know, I was a little bit of a loss at what to do with all my free time. I remember trying to work hard, and like I would wake up super early, and they'd be like, you know, chill, okay, calm down, take it easy. But, you know, I came in with a good work ethic. But like, you know, seriously, dude, like, give me an opportunity now to be on a deserted island. I would make podcasts in my free time, like, and just like pump out Instagram content. You know, you make the best of whatever situation you're in. I made the best of that situation. I had a good old time, and that's what it was. So anyways, I learned so much there. I also, you know, this is a big deal, I got a fresh coconut for my birthday from one of the island boys, and I thought that was really amazing. Like, I got a coconut, it was amazing. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you wanted me to go more into my actual experience, but this is more so how to make that an opportunity for yourself and how to go and do it. But yeah, just go out there and write some emails and see what happens. So now my next opportunity which I want to create for myself is that I want to go to Bali so initially I was thinking I would go to university and do the whole interior architecture thing, and, you know, spend a lot of, you know, like take a loan and do all that jazz. Now I was like, if that opportunity doesn't happen, I will create opportunities elsewhere, or I was planning to do them before or after, whatever. Now, obviously, I've been rejected, which I will talk about in my next YouTube. Literally, it's coming. This is why I suddenly got the energy and the power to just like create, because I was like, well, shit, that's gone. Let me do shit. So the next opportunity I want to write is so there are these two really incredible interior architecture companies in Bali, which make resorts and homes like in the very sustainable, natural style, and they take volunteers to help create them on the ground. That's what I want to do. I mean, that's why I even thought I wanted to go to uni, because actually that's what I want to do. So now I'm gonna write a few different studios a statement and say, hey, this is my experience, I'm an interior designer, I have da-da-da-da-da. I'll put a portfolio together and say, you know, I would like to come and offer my volunteering, and so I then can learn and be in this space and just be there. So let's see what happens. I need to do some saving and create some opportunities for myself moving forward. But yeah, I hope that was useful. It's a quick and easy one, but yeah, thank you. And I think my hair's almost dry now. Honestly, it's so annoying because I had such great hair last week, like 2 days in a row. I had like really beautiful waves, but I didn't record. But you know what, here we are, so yeah, let's get it. Bloops. Oh, why is it dark? Are you recording? Yes or no? Press recording, yes. Why are there so many fucking cars?